All right, so this third segment of the program, it's about celebrating a group of people that are helping to save lives, and they're doing that in a great style. We're talking about midwives, the unsung heroes of maternal and child care in Nigeria. And joining me on the phone line this morning, I have Mrs. Sola Aketi, who is Director Nursing Services for the Lagos State Ministry of Health. Madam, nice to have you join us. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Victor. Good morning, everyone.
Wonderful. All right. So during the week, we marked the International Midwives Day. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, the National Day of the Midwife.
Talk to me. So how crucial, perhaps how significant is marking that day?
Once again, good morning, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be on your station this morning. And thank you for what you are doing, because this is the best way to advocate and to ensure that the people in our neighborhood are well informed so that lives can be kept and be saved. We mark this usually a yearly event, midwives, with the theme Midwives Critical to Every Crisis.
Right.
Usually May 5th of every year. And this Monday, Lagos State will walk around from Lagos State Ministry of Health to Allen Avenue, sensitizing people about the importance of midwives and why they needed to visit an expert when it comes to maternal care. By way of introduction, a midwife is a trained personnel who specializes in supporting pregnancy, childbirth, and postpartum care. Okay. What do I mean by that? Postpartum means after delivery. And if you don't have an expert person to handle such area, that's when we begin to have complications. Midwives, they are skilled and knowledgeable to what they're supposed to give to that person in pregnancy, even before pregnancy, in pregnancy, during labor, and after labor.
Right.
And the importance of this midwife cannot be overemphasized.
All right, so we'll touch down on what they do and the significance of all of that. But do we have enough midwives in Nigeria?
Fantastic. We're supposed to have enough midwives, but currently we are short of expert care, expert midwives. So many factors are attributary. And because of these shortages, the Lagos State has taken it upon themselves to increase the capacity of the midwives by ensuring that our institutions turn out enough every year. But fortunately, the situation around us does not encourage them to stay. But we are trying as much as we could to retain them.
Right.
There are so many factors attributed. Okay. Because of this, we mentioned them.
All right. So the World Health Organization, what do they say about the number of midwives that we should have to a particular population? Do we have any figure like that? Any statistics?
Statistically, it's expected that a midwife should have, we should have about, we talk about maternal mortality rates.
Right.
That will tell us why we should have enough. Like in nursing, 1 to 4 nurses is expected. So also for a midwife, at least we should have minimally in a developing country like us, we should have about a midwife to max 2-3 pregnant women.
Okay.
To be delivered at labor suit. But when it comes to antenatal, you can have 1 midwife to about relatively 40. I said this because we have a peculiarity in most of these our developing status.
Right.
And that's why when we don't have enough midwives, there are so many challenges or so many problems, because the World Health Organization expected that we should have all these skilled birth attendants with midwives around us. But what do we see, unfortunately? Because in sub-Saharan Africa, about 70% of global maternal death is attributary to less of this.
All right.
As I'm talking of statistics of 2023. So this is 2025, it's still relevant.
It's still very relevant.
So for the midwife to be available.
Right. So is there any major difference between a nurse and a midwife?
Thank you so very much. For clarity of purpose, a nurse, that's why we say general nurse. A general nurse touch all aspects of healthcare, vis-a-vis eye, ear, head, leg, name it, general, because the curriculum covers all, but they did not specialize. Just like when you have a medical personnel, in medicine, you touch all those areas until you decide to go and specialize. But a midwife specializes in maternal and child care. And that's why in university, we have about 4 faculty. One is medical surgical that has so many others under it, specialty. So also we have maternal and child health, in which reproductive health is there, fertility is inclusive, antenatal, postnatal, name it all. They are all encompassing in midwifery care. And in midwifery care, this is the area where midwives should be handled or be given the privilege to handle it.
Right.
If you don't handle it, the complication that comes around, because currently we are facing one or two challenges, because there are not many. So let's just use, you can't subsidize life. Life has to be prime. It has to be given that adequate attention. A woman that is in labor is carrying extra one, not even to talk when there are multiple pregnancies. So care should be given through an expert midwife, and I advocate that. Anyone working with me in the name of, because of the shortage, should also know that they can't just deliver anyhow. Though the delivery could be natural, because our mother delivers safely, but we're in an era whereby when complication comes, what do you do? But before the complication comes, what are the prevention you put in place? Prevention 1, prevention 2, prevention 3. And if you are not competent enough to take delivery or to monitor a woman in labor or pregnancy, problems can emanate. There are so many. We all have challenges. For instance, woman with immunoglobulopathy, that is all these SS and the likes, that they have incompatibility in their blood system.
Right.
At the end of the day, if a midwife is not the one that is taking care of this, can result in another problem. Is not delivery. To deliver the baby is not midwifery. Midwifery encompasses
more than
care.
that.
It encompasses personalized care to that patient. It encompasses promoting natural birth. It encompasses identifying problem before it's emanated.
So,
and postpartum and infant care should not just be joked with.
All right. So, madam, is it wrong for any hospital who employs a nurse, and because he has employed that nurse, feels that, well, a nurse should be able to deliver any pregnant woman that comes to this hospital? Is it wrong?
For instance, before now, our program used to be school-based, but now academically we are now into university primarily. And in our previous training, you have general nurse, you have midwife as specialty, ophthalmology as specialty, pediatrics as specialty. But in our BNSC, which is now what we are working with, you will just have to have BNSC inculcated with midwifery practice, public health practice. So as you are coming out as a BNSC holder, you're having these 3 in 1 already established. So when they are employing you as a degree holder, be rest assured that a midwife is already in position.
Right.
But for those that have single qualified before now, some of them are already going back to university. But if peradventure they are still not in the university and they are being employed, that person should have a midwife around it.
Right.
And can I tell you what?
Tell me.
We call ourselves staff nurse midwife, meaning that the 2 you have had before sustains you to handle that clinic as the case may be.
Now, is there any way that I can identify who a midwife is if I go to a hospital?
You cannot. But
Okay.
if it's a PSC holder, be rest assured. And that's why when you get to the hospital, you have the right to ask, may I know you better? So if it's a PhD, if it's a BNSC holder, that person is already qualified to take care of the pregnancy.
Right. But, a woman who's in pains will not have time to ask those kind of questions.
But all I can tell you, like I said in general nursing, we touch base all these specialties until you try to go and specialize. So as a nurse, you can manage that pain effectively. And as a midwife, be rest assured that that patient's life is safe and is given the adequate care as deemed fit. So
are midwives unsung heroes in Nigeria?
Oh, really unsung. Really,
in what ways? In what ways?
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. And midwives, there are so many people that done something fantastic and extraordinary. Midwife will be the one, apart from the shift duty or call duty, they will ensure that while they were there, they stay with that patient till she delivers. If the shift has even expired, or rather they are finished with that shift, they will hand over to the next person who will take care. But what do we see? The moment that patient delivers and goes, that's all. And there was this mindset, this growth mindset, fixed mindset about midwife, that when they come to the hospital, their attitude is bad. Is a lie. Not everybody in the hospital is a nurse. Not everybody in the hospital is a midwife. And so we have so many challenges, especially at the primary healthcare end, that everybody wants to be seen as a nurse. No. As a midwife. No. In our delivery suite now, it's only a midwife that can enter that delivery suite. No other person.
Okay.
I was at a center recently, to be precise, at Egbeda.
Right.
And I was happy with what I saw. A case wanted to turn to a complication, but thank God for the midwife that was there. That midwife nipped it at the bud. I was there. I have to support her. Oh, there's nothing like Ogamio. Give me this. Give me that. That is proactiveness. That is effective emergency response. And that baby was like one big baby like this, 4.2 by vagina.
Wow.
So if it's not an expert person, and the woman started bleeding profusely, if it's not an expert person that delivered that baby, we'll be talking of something else today.
Lagos
but
traffic.
I'm proud to tell you that we are not being celebrated. How do we need to do that? Look into all these affairs and just give that opportunity to the midwives. Celebrate them where they needed to be celebrated, not to castigate them. Then when we get to the hospital, it has become a story and is demoralizing. And I tell you, that's one of the things that is making my midwife to leave the shop.
Which is quite unfortunate.
Very, very. I was a teacher at Lagos College of Nursing after spending 23 years at a clinical side at LASUT. It was then I began to see the talent in these younger ones, and I tried to encourage them. And because of encouraging them, I found out that these younger ones, they have the beautiful talent that you just have to showcase. The next thing I saw the lady, one of them that walked up to me with confidence that she's currently doing something on teenage pregnancies.
Wow.
By the time this lady left the shop, she finishes from Lautech after leaving LASCON. I'm finishing for Lautech. Aderoju today, she's doing wonderfully well in the UK, community based.
Wow.
And they will come for a consultation. She said, Mommy, I'm getting fulfilled here.
Which is very, very good. All right. I love the way you're talking. There's lots of passion in you, really. And I can see that you've been in the industry.
Midwives, they are the ones. They are there. Please use them.
Right.
Don't just say because they deliver. It's not only to deliver baby. There are so many houses. Can I quickly tell you, sir?
Right.
We have high rate of maternal mortality rate in Nigeria. Lagos State is even better. And when we did a study of that Lagos State, we found that 12% of this maternal mortality rate comes from traditional birth attendants. Comes from quacks.
Okay.
Comes from whosoever that go from one house, is it not to deliver baby? And when they started bleeding, that's when they begin to say, rush them to the hospital. If the woman eventually died in the hospital now record that on their own against them. Why can't you come? And that's why Lagos State have been so marvelous to make sure that 10 kilometers at most to where you live, you get an hospital.
All right,
and
just
when
a
you
second.
get there, ask for a midwife.
All right, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. I have a passionate midwife speaking on the program this morning. She's Director Nursing Services at the Lagos State Ministry of Health, and I'm talking about Mrs. Sola Aketi. All right, from the Alausa Ikeja end, I understand traffic is moving pretty well in and out of that corridor, the stretch of Mobolaji Johnson Avenue from the old toll gate 7 up Billings Way up to Alausa intersection, looking pretty good. And of course, movement from Obafemi Awolowo Way is still on a good side as well. Slight delays at the traffic signal light. That's talking about the Allen intersection, but no major worries. Busy movement on Latif Jakonde Road from Omole Road inwards Wemco Junction, Agidingbi up to Coca-Cola Junction. Slow and steady. That's the name of the game, but no major worries at this time. All right, then. So let's hear from you two out there. If you have enjoyed the service of a midwife and perhaps you also want to contribute to the program, feel free to connect with us, and that's on 08099120777. Okay, 08099120777 and 09153877127. All right. If you have really enjoyed the service of the midwives out there as we mark this International Midwifery Day, which was marked this week, you can always connect with us. Let's hear from you. 09153877127. All right. So, Madam, when we talk about midwives, we said they are unsung heroes. Do we have enough of them in Nigeria? Like I asked earlier on?
So many unsung ones. So many. For instance, I can mention names on this program.
Go ahead.
And it's not me. By statistics, by engagement, I got to know that
Okay.
One of our nurse, a midwife at Ainke House, for instance,
Right.
by name Oyebode Modinat. Check her out.
Wow.
She's always available. It's not me. It was people that had engagement with her and reported, we have one fantastic. I say, So
Wow.
that gives me joy to know that, yes, I have another person on some. They have retired. We want to talk of grace. We talk of so many of them that have done wonderfully well.
Right.
So
Okay. Let me see. Do I have a call?
They should begin to look at what.
Let's take this call. Hello
Okay.
there. Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
All right. What's your name?
Yeah, Robert. Robert.
Okay, Robert. Where are you calling from?
I'm on driving into the studio now.
Okay. All right.
Yes, I want to celebrate the midwives, nurses and midwives, and
Yeah, thank
thank them
you.
for the good work they are doing. I have had wonderful experiences.
Wow.
Such. Hope I'm free to mention the name of the nurse.
Yes, you can. You can do that.
Mention.
Yes. Her name is I think Mrs. Ekbeku. She used to work in a private hospital somewhere in Opa. And she was the one that took delivery of, I think, 2 of my children.
Fantastic.
Now, what she did, one remarkable thing she did when my son was to be born was that, yes, we got to the hospital very early because I think labor started, and by the time it had progressed to a remarkable stage,
Right.
we had to leave for the hospital around 4:30 a.m. And then by the time we got in there, my wife was checked into the observation room, and then she just popped in, saw my wife, and she just went. She was already in Mufti, about to leave, because she had closed her shift, I think around 6 a.m. or thereabouts.
Imagine.
So she popped into the observation room, saw my wife in labor, and then she went back and changed back into her uniform.
Wow.
And, she was with us all through till labor progressed to 10 cm dilation, and then she took delivery of the baby.
Wow.
And after she took delivery of the baby, cleaned up the baby, checked us into the ward.
Fantastic.
She just came back, changed back into her mufti, and told us she would see us the next day.
Wow.
And I just looked at her. I had to call her back. I said, ma'am, were you not on duty? She said she had closed her shift. She was on her way home when she saw us, but she just wanted to, assist.
Wow.
And that's something that is very rare. You find somebody who has closed their shift for the day. We just say, just hand over to the next
person. Right.
But she felt she owed us that duty because it was the first delivery, and she needed to. She knew we needed an experienced hand on ground.
Right.
And she gave us all her time.
What's her name again?
I want to really appreciate what you guys are doing. And
thank you. Please, feel free to send me her name and her contact.
That God also gives us the means to
Right.
acknowledge and appreciate.
All right, Robert. What's her name again? What's the name of the midwife again?
Sorry?
What's the name of the midwife again?
Okay, Mrs. Ekbeku. Unfortunately, she has left for the US.
Oh, okay.
You see?
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that experience with us. All right, so some messages are coming in here for you, but quickly, let's just take them. This one says, good morning, Traffic Radio. Midwives are heroes, and I feel they are underappreciated. I just want to thank all the midwives out there. God bless you. Sylvester is sending that one in. Sylvester, thank you.
Thank you, Sylvester.
Right. This one says, what can be done to encourage more young women to pursue midwifery? You didn't put your name. Thank you so much. Another one here says, another one here says, good morning, Mr. Oteri. How does one become a midwife? Also, please help us appeal to Ikeja Electric and TCN. They have kept the whole Ogba and Okira in darkness for 2 days now. Our businesses are greatly affected. Thanks. Toyin is sending that one in from Ogba. All right, Ikeja Electric, the appeal to you. All right, so madam, let's begin to round this all up right now. So as we mark this day for midwifery in Nigeria, what's the message? What message are you passing to our people?
Like I said, the message is this year's theme globally is called Midwife, critical in every crisis. See them as your savior. See the midwife as the person that is there at the beginning and will still be there even afterwards. Midwives are to be celebrated. Look at what the last speaker or second to last speaker said. It gladdens my heart. These are what people does. On that day, we walk around, and to the glory of God, we were able to get the attention of everybody.
Right.
We celebrated the day of the midwife because we found out we needed to nip it at the bud, or to stop this high rate of maternal mortality.
Okay.
And not even only that, in compliance with universal health coverage that we are proposing for year 2030, midwives should be appreciated. Now, what does it take to be a midwife? Currently, we have submerged all our training in nursing, general nursing, and midwifery together, so that when you are coming out, you come out as a fortified person in midwifery, in nursing, in public health.
All right.
So, obtain DNSC or Doma Jam process. We have 2 medium of entry.
Right.
That of college of nursing. We have 2 in Lagos, or 3. One at Alimosho there, one at Luz, and I said as Nigerian Army.
Okay.
Likewise, Department of Nursing.
Right.
We have NASUCOM, we have Unilag. So you can enter throughout this medium if you have the prerequisite.
Okay,
and by
then.
the time you come out, you are fantastically ready to work and help an individual.
Okay, then.
I sent to you. Okay, sir.
Let me say congratulations to you for the feats you guys have really attained. And I pray that your labor of love in serving Nigeria and helping to reduce or perhaps helping maternal and child health will also be rewarded as well. Madam, it's nice connecting with you on the program.
Before you go, let me say that midwifery is the bridge between science and compassion.
Right. Okay, then.
It's between pains and promise.
We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that for now because of time. Thank you so much for connecting with us.
Thank you.
All right. So we've been dwelling on midwives, the unsung heroes of maternal and child health, and taking us to the classroom this morning, Mrs. Sola Aketi, who is the Director Nursing Services with the Lagos State Ministry of Health. We have to go. Dio Anthony has produced the program this morning in the building. Peter Marcelino and, of course, Precious also in the building. Our social media team, we do appreciate you, Okpayemi Shodunke and others. And our executive producer is Taya Conley. My name is Victor Oteri. Out still very much within. I'll be back shortly for the benchmark.